Okay, so we're going to have a look at another question. This one is from the 2022 HSC Standard 2 Maths paper. This is question 32. So we're told the diagram shows a park consisting of a rectangle and a semicircle. The semicircle has radius 100 meters. The dimensions of the rectangle are 200 meters by 250. A lake occupies a section of the park as shown. The rest of the park is a grass section. Some measurements from the end of the grass section to the edge of the lake are also shown. Use two applications of trapezoidal rule, calculate the approximate area of the grass section, hence calculate the approximate area of the lake. Okay, so we're going to draw a little diagram of our grass section to do part A. We sort of have length here, curve down here, curves up like this. Sort of looks like this. If we cut it in half, we find that this is 150, this is 160, this is 250. So these are our dimensions. Let's get this is 160, this is 250. If the entire base is 200, each of these widths is 100. So this is 100, this is 100. So what we're going to do for trapezoidal rule, this means turn them into trapeziums. So this is one edge of the trapezium, this is another one. So this is our first trapezium. It has area A1. This is one edge of one, edge of another. So our second trapezium looks something like this, and this will be A2. These are just crude drawings that they don't need to be perfect. So we need to find these two areas. The total area is going to be the sum of the two. So area 1 will be the width, 100 divided by 2 times the sum of the side lengths, 160 plus 150. The second trapezium will be the width, 100 divided by 2 times the sum of the side lengths, 150 plus 250. So now we need to calculate this. So we have 160 plus 150, that's 310. 310 times 50, 310 times 50 gives us 15,500. 500. And then we have 50 times 400. So that will be 20,000. So this is 35,500. Now, of course, I'm doing these individually. We could also put the whole expression into the calculator. So we will do this to check, because this is quite a good habit to get into, especially when you're in exams. It's better not to use a calculator in class if you can avoid it as much as is possible. But once you're in exams, use your calculator to check. So we should have 35,500. All right, excellent. So this is the approximate area of the grass section. So therefore, area of the grass section is roughly equal to 35500, and this is meters squared. So this is our answer to part A. Now we need to have a look at part B. So for part B, we're told hence calculate the approximate area of the lake. So the way we're going to do the lake is we're going to find the area of the entire shape and then minus the area of the grassed section. So we have a shape that sort of looks like this, has a semicircle up here, has a rectangle down the bottom. This has two areas. We'll call this A3 and A4. We've already used A1 and 2 above, so we'll try not to use them again. You don't really need to use this naming convention. I'm going to, because I think it's a good habit to be in. So the total area of this shape, which we'll call TA, is going to be equal to A3 plus A4. Well, A3 is half of a circle. Its radius is 100. The area of a circle is pi times radius squared. So this is going to be pi times 100 squared divided by 2, because it's just half. The area of the rectangle will be its base times its height, which is 200 times 250. This implies that the total area, and we're just going to use the calculator straight away for this because it has pi in it. So we have pi times 100 squared divided by 2 plus 200 times 250. This is 65707.963 ... So about 67,707. To get the area of the lake is equal to the total area minus the area of the grass. So this gives us area of the lake is the total area, 65707 0.9632 dot 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 minus the area of the grass, which we found was 35,500. So this will give us 30207.963 dot dot dot. Now I'm just going to confirm this with my calculator. 65707.9632. You can do these manually, but in an exam it's better not to assume that your mind is getting them right all the time. 30207.9632. All right, excellent. And so therefore, the area of the lake, we're told to the nearest square meter, this is going to be 30208 meters squared to the nearest meter squared. And this is the answer to part B. So now let's have a look at the marking. The marking for these types of questions is usually pretty straightforward. So if we look at part 1, let's change our color back to yellow. We get 1 mark for applying the trapezoidal rule using trapezium formulas or some equivalent merit. So 1 mark for the working we have at the start. You get a 2nd mark for getting the correct solution. So if you try to use trapezium formulas but you make a mistake when using them and get the wrong area, you'll still get a mark if your working is good enough. For part B, we're told you get 1 mark for finding the area of the rectangle and the semicircle or some equivalent. So if you get this first part up here, if you're able to find the total area or some reasonable combination of the two areas, you may calculate them wrong. For example, you might forget to multiply the circle by a half or something like that, and then go through the rest of the question. Everything will be wrong at that point, but that will be reasonable working, so that's likely to get you a mark. The 2nd mark is for providing the correct solution. So you'll have to use the correct value for the total area, subtract the grass from it to get 30208, and you'll have to round it correctly. If the questions specify a very strict rounding, make sure you follow that very strict rounding.